What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Super Nerd.
I am totally not Alfarius.
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm Shazam.
And what or whom are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the Thunderbolts. More specifically, what the MCU might be able to do with the Thunderbolts.
They're not who you think of first when you think about superhero groups or supervillain groups, but pretty interesting.
Very interesting. I am almost positive that they will make an appearance in the MCU. They've introduced enough of the characters already. Let's get into it.
Alright, so the Thunderbolts first appeared in the Incredible Hulk issue 449. Relatively new compared to most of the other characters we're covering here. Most of the original lineup appeared way before that, but the group itself appeared fairly recently.
Right.
They were a replacement for the Avengers when the Avengers quote-unquote died during the Onslaught crisis.
Yep. They were basically the Marvel version of Suicide Squad, like reformed villains.
Yes, but you don't know that at first.
Right. No, of
You don't
course
know that
not.
at first. That's the thing.
Basically, Marvel's Suicide Squad go in, do the dangerous missions, clean up the dirty work. They have fought the Avengers, worked with the Avengers, all of that. But we'll get into that later. So,
Yeah.
starting off with the lineup
Yes.
of the Thunderbolts, you have their leader, Zemo.
Went by Citizen V. You have Moonstone, who went by Meteorite.
You have Screamin' Mimi, who went by Songbird.
Goliath, who went by Atlas.
You have Beetle, not to be confused with DC's Blue Beetle, that went by Mach 1.
And you got the Fixer, who would go by the alias Techno. See, originally, they were using the facade of being superheroes to eventually conquer the world.
Sure,
There's
yeah.
what better way to do it, really. But they came to the conclusion that, redemption or excel, and they're actually having fun doing this, and it's actually rewarding.
Marvel came to the conclusion that
The Thunderbolts themselves.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Thunderbolts came to
Yes.
the
So eventually they would kind of distance themselves from Zemo because he's a true believer.
Right, yeah. Very much shows set in his ways, that helmet.
And Zemo would go on to do, various evil things.
Yeah.
Various evil things.
Various evil things throughout
Yeah.
his entire career.
We're going to do a video on him.
After splitting ties with Zemo, Baron Zemo, the Thunderbolts have been headed by all sorts of characters of the Marvel Universe, heroes and villains alike. You have Luke Cage, Norman Osborn, Red Hulk. Hell, even the Winter Soldier has led the Thunderbolts a time or two.
Their lineups and their alignment fluctuate with who's the leader as well. Norman Osborn's, I think, goes on to be the Dark Avengers at one point, eventually. And he's obviously he's the best leader out of all of those, so,
Arguably.
Yeah. During the Civil War, Marvel's Civil War I, Thunderbolts were used by the pro-registration side, that's Mr. Fantastic Iron Man side, to hunt down and kill, basically, the anti-registration side, Captain America's side.
Yeah.
This ended badly for two of them when the Punisher machine gunned them in a sewer.
Spoiler alerts. In the comics, Civil War is way bloodier than it is in the MCU. Lots of heroes and villains die on both sides of it.
Yeah, and another good thing about Civil War, before we move on, it's cool because it doesn't tell you which side you need to root for, unlike the movie.
Right, yeah.
When it's a Captain America
Captain America Civil War. Who are you gonna side with?
I don't know.
In the comics, it's just Marvel Civil War, and it's very much you choose your side. I still to this day have always thought Iron Man has an excellent point in Civil War.
100%. But, yeah. It's almost like, with great power comes great responsibility.
I wonder who said that.
Jason Alexander.
Hopefully.
Okay, so...
That's another sword we're gonna die on.
Yeah, I'm dying on that fucking sword, man. That is a hill I will slaughter millions to defend right there.
Oh, Jason Alexander as Uncle Ben.
And just leave it up to the audience to decide how the hell he got Marissa Tomei.
Well, I mean, if Seinfeld teaches you anything.
He won a contest. Okay, so how the MCU can use these guys. Zemo's already introduced, so there's your Magnificent Seven kind of thing. Him going around recruiting people. That part's easy.
Yeah, yeah. If Zemo's gonna actually be the leader, you do have Elaine's character, Julia
Lady
Louis.
Hydra.
Yeah, you have Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character. She might end up leading the Thunderbolt, or like recruiting the Thunderbolts, and then
A financier.
handing that over, kind of like Nick Fury recruits the Avengers, but it's Tony's Avengers. So
Yeah. I think it would be nice, though, at the end of one of these next movies for Zemo to go in somewhere and go, I'm putting a team together. Nice little mirror thing.
nice nod.
Yeah. They would be really good. It would be a good vehicle to get villains back that they've only used once so far.
Oh yeah, that'd
Like
be awesome.
Whiplash. Yeah, Whiplash,
Abomination.
Abomination. Fun fact, guys, I know we all tend to forget it, but that Edward Norton Hulk movie is canon.
Hammer.
Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer. Yeah, you could bring him back.
Yeah. Ghost from the second. Is it second Ant-Man? Or you can use it to introduce some villains that you haven't introduced before, and that they're just in prison. Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll believe it. You've sold your tickets already. It's fine.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to work with there. Who wouldn't want to see, a main villain movie anyway, like Suicide Squad, where all these villains come back and kind of have this redemption arc, or plot twist. Seems as if it's redemption. Oh no, it's not.
I'd just go full bore into it. Nope, they are villains. They are staying villains.
I would at least spend an hour
You can have
trying
one.
to convince
You got
us they
one.
weren't, and then
Okay,
exactly
fair
one
enough.
of them would have to die, and then they would all realize.
And you can't call it the Thunderbolts, though. You have to call it something else.
Why?
Because everybody would know.
I want the Masters of Evil. I want a super villain team to counter the Avengers.
Yes, that would be fantastic. So finally, here is a short list of some of the more prominent members that the many iterations of the Thunderbolts have had. We don't want to keep you here for 30 minutes, so we're not going to list off all of them. Throw some of these in there. I think it would be really cool. You've got people like all of the Beatles, Mach 1 Beetle, Mach 2 Beetle, Mach 3, 4, 5 Beetle.
Ringo.
All
of them.
Ringo, Doc Ock.
Doc Ock, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw is freaking fantastic.
Yes.
Venom, Shocker. Although he is dead, you can just give somebody else the things.
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
Ooh,
he's
I love
yes.
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster's great.
Super cool power.
So freaking cool. He's gonna be in the Black Widow.
Photogenic kinesthetic
Memory?
Yeah, something like
Mimics the fight. He knows their fighting style
that.
immediately.
That's throw
great.
one punch and he can perfectly counter. Yeah.
Lady Deathstrike.
Ooh, very, very cool villain.
And probably one of my favorite villains, Bullseye.
Oh, Bullseye's
awesome.
Yeah, I always liked it on the old Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Bullseye.
How Bullseye could unfold paper clips.
Yeah, that was great. He kills that lady with a peanut.
Very cool power. And on that note, that'll pretty much wrap us up here. That's a brief little overview and history of the Thunderbolts and what we can expect the MCU to make the Thunderbolts.
We can have an anti-Avengers on our hands here. Who wouldn't like that?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So be sure to give us a like and subscribe down below. Leave some suggestions for future villain teams or other assorted villainous video ideas that you would like us to cover.
The video on that side of the screen is one YouTube recommends. The video on this side of the screen is one we recommend. I've been Shazam.
Still not Alfarius.
And until next time, bye!